because that's a spoiler.
Cut out that who was in it?
Exactly. You should just bleep it out when I say it.
Hey, everybody.
Hello there.
We're about to go see this movie, Hustlers, which I had not heard of before it was out in the theater.
Really?
Legit, I had seen no promotion for it. I've only seen a little pre-roll thing on Instagram, and it was on mute. So I know nothing about this movie other than that Cardi B is in it. Everybody is like saying this thing is amazing, like it's going to be one of the Oscar contenders, and I'm curious to know if that's because the movie is quality or because there just haven't been very many good movies this year, but we'll see.
I had seen the trailer for it, but originally when I watched it the first time, I watched it on mute, so I didn't really know what was going on. I kind of figured like strippers who take advantage of guys for their money.
Are there strippers in this?
They are strippers.
Oh.
I don't know too much about the movie either. Constance Wu was in it, and I loved her in Crazy Rich Asians, so I'm really excited to see her because this is like a totally different role. And Jennifer Lopez is obviously in it. I'm actually pretty excited to see it too. A friend of mine said earlier today that she didn't really like it because she said it was repetitive, but I don't know. Like I still have a pretty open mind going into it.
And that's also the first bad, like, really negative review that I've heard. I've heard some okay and then some, like, really great. I just hope it's not a Widows or The Kitchen or something like that.
Or an Ocean's 8.
Wow, fuck that movie.
Yeah, I mean, I have an open mind. I think we're going to like it. I felt like when the previews were coming up that I was the only person that was like, oh, I want to see that. But then recently, Oliver's really been the one that's been like, I want to see it. It's supposed to be really, really, really good. So I'm interested to see what you think at the end of it.
Yeah, right then. We're going to go see it, and we'll let you know.
Yeah. So we're back after finishing Hustlers.
I really, really enjoyed this movie.
I really did too.
A lot.
Yeah, me too. I think it had a lot of really good qualities. Like, I think of the movies that have come out this year. I mean, this year in particular has not been great for movies. But I think of the movies that came out this year, this is definitely at the top in terms of quality, yeah. Originality. I mean, I want to say originality, but it pretty much is The Wolf of Wall Street.
It's The Wolf of Wall Street, it's War Dogs, it's Goodfellas, it's Casino, but it's with strippers.
And women. Which goes to show you can make a movie with women and have it not suck. Amazing!
And it doesn't need to be a remake. You can do an ensemble women cast. It doesn't need to be Ocean's 8.
You just need
or
to have
Ghostbusters.
Good enough actors, good enough directors, and an actual fucking plot.
That's what we always say, is like, it sucks that there's this idea that you can only do this ensemble women cast in a remake of something that already had money in it. And it's a little fucking offensive when women can carry mature material that works that isn't recycled.
Although there's a stigma around strippers as being this like disgusting, dirty like thing that women can do, that like all these women were actually like not
decent
having
people.
And not having the worst times of their lives.
It describes being a stripper as glamorous.
It does.
But it backs it up, and it says this is why nobody's getting hurt here. If you're down to roll with it, that works. Which is the same idea as in a mafia movie. Nobody ever bats an eye that the beginning of the movie is always building you up to want to be in the fucking mafia.
Right.
You know, Goodfellas, you want to throw the mailman in the oven, you know? It's only later when they start showing you that it's not fun all the time that you start to see like, oh, this is like heavy shit.
Right.
And that's exactly what this movie does.
That's essentially what this movie was. They were scam artists for a while, you know, and eventually they got caught. Although shitty what they were doing, you didn't really feel too bad about it.
They make you feel for a character who's a bad person.
Technically.
So, you know, here it's not killing people, it's drugging guys and taking all of their money, which is scummy, you know what I mean?
But even the people investigating the crime said that nobody wanted to talk about it because
they were all scumbags.
Because they were all scumbags, and nobody wanted to admit to the fact that they willingly did this.
Very smart of them to have all these montages where you're seeing these fucking scumbags who are like assholes, and then that's put with their daughters.
Right. Because these are women who had a hard time doing things other than being strippers, trying to work other jobs, and how people everywhere are shitty. Like, it really doesn't matter. You could be working for Old Navy, you could be working for Macy's, you could be working for Target, you could be working anywhere. And when people start to get a little bit of power in whatever position they held, they always feel the need to hold down the people who are below them. And it was the same thing happening in the vein of it being strippers and strip clubs. I found that to be the parallels to be very interesting, and I really think that the way that they shot the movie was really interesting, because they were doing a lot of that, where they were panning between being at a strip club and then
being in your office,
being in their office, and then these women, you know, dancing for men, and then these men, you know, being on Wall Street, you know, making money.
And then, like, little subtle things that they do in that vein too. Like, there's this scene where she's calling a guy and he's trying to talk to her while his wife is in the other room.
Right.
And you just see him keep walking into bigger and bigger rooms, which, first of all, is really funny. On the other hand, it also shows you, like, rich fucking scumbag.
Yep.
And, you know, that guy's considered to be a normal dude.
Jennifer Lopez was amazing in this movie. I mean, she looks sexy as fucking hell. That woman is insane.
Woman.
I mean, the fact that she was literally, when you first get introduced to her, she was literally pretty much naked. I believe she's in her 50s now. For a woman in her 50s,
hotter than Constance Wu,
100%.
Hotter than that blonde chick,
Lily Reinhold, which who is pretty hot. Jennifer Lopez really did, like, sell that movie. She was acting her fucking heart out. It's interesting to see her in a position where at times she became the villain of the movie. I wasn't expecting to like and dislike her at the same time.
And again, we're going back, but she's the Robert De Niro of the movie.
Yep, where you like them because you like their character and you can justify what they're doing, but you also look at it again and you're just like, fuck no, this is a really bad person. Like, they're doing shitty things.
Another aspect of a really good rise fall is the guy who's already in it, who's showing you Matthew McConaughey in Wolf of Wall Street.
Right.
It's the same concept, and she does that so well because of the confidence. And I think another part of that is that subconsciously they introduce her stripping.
Right.
You know, she's already the boss bitch.
Right.
There's
she's
nobody,
the head bitch. Yeah. She was the dom. She was, you know, the madam of the whorehouse. Like, that was her.
Also, really, really cool sound design things going on with this movie. Just little decisions like that to pull you in. I always think that stuff is so interesting.
Speaking of sound, I like the soundtrack a lot.
Yep.
You know, obviously it's a lot of club hits, a lot of club songs, but then every once in a while they would just sprinkle in a song that really wasn't a club hit. It was just a regular song, and it just worked so well. And I can always really appreciate a movie that tries hard to make sure that the music in it is fitting.
And it's all accurate to when they would have been there.
Yeah.
Because we're getting to that place, like when they made American Psycho in 2000. That was just on the line where the 90s could be a period piece.
Right.
And we're starting to see that with
where the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s is a period piece, yeah.
And so we're taking these songs like you would do with a 70s period piece, but now they're things that were pop hits at that time. Right. I think that's really interesting because that was my first exposure to music.
And even just the costuming and whatnot, all the Juicy Couture tracksuits, you know, all the Ugg boots, you know, the big gold chains, the nameplate necklaces. Even what the strippers were wearing, lots of, like, bright colors and, like, you know, things that now wouldn't really be considered, like, sexy.
That leopard print was everywhere.
Yeah, and, you know, I just found I enjoyed that part. Yeah, I fucking had Ugg boots and track shoes. I mean, I still wear my Ugg boots.
And I think that that's very interesting. I really enjoyed Hustlers. I have very few complaints about the movie. And the ones that I do have don't even really pop up in my head. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie an A-. It's a very, very solid movie, and I would recommend it to anybody.
I'm gonna go along the same vein. I actually think I'm gonna give it an A, because A- to me implies that I had something negative to say, and really I didn't. The only thing that I had negative to say at all was that it felt a little longer than it actually was.
We don't know how to end these.
Oh, we're done. See you later. Ride Home Reviews.
Good night.